barely. Under here. This big old chunk. Yeah, don't want the copyright! Lots of oil around this thing, especially at the bottom. All right, back at it. So, last thing I did on the car was take off the front bumper. Finally got the car jacked up and just kind of went to town on the car. As you can see, radiators out over there, fans out, and just decided to do a couple of things on the car while I had it like this. Just feel like everything was just easier to access. So I went ahead and wrote down a little list, and here's some of the things that we got going on the list. So obviously this started off as a coolant system overhaul, and still is that, but gonna address a couple of things. Gonna replace the power steering line, gonna reseal the oil pan, and replace the front main seal, and also add in the new intercooler. So got most of this stuff accessible now. I already got some of the coolant hoses off, the main coolant hoses off, as you can see. Upper coolant hose, the lower coolant hose is off. Also this U-bend also taken off. I got a couple of hoses on the back of the engine that are also off. Probably can't see them there. These two down here, I don't know if you can see that. Those two are also off. And yeah, so the car is pretty much in tatters right now. It's looking very shelly right now, but yeah, I got a couple of things like a new fan that I'm gonna try and wire myself. First time doing that. Should be pretty. Got this on Amazon for still. I think this is a 16-inch fan, so hopefully it's a lot better. I'm almost positive that it has higher CFM. I think it's like rated at like 2,000 or 3,000 or something like that. I don't know if that sounds ridiculous. That's what the description said. So yeah, so now I think today on the car, I am I'm debating whether I should get a new thermostat for the car. Also, this is a very long clip. Let's just keep it going. So I think about getting a new thermostat. As you can see, the thermostat housing's right there. I might just take it out and see if it actually needs to be replaced or not. It's recommended to do that whenever you mess around with the coolant system. It's also been in there for a while, so maybe I'll just do that. It's pretty cheap, and lighting's pretty bad. And so yeah, I'm probably just gonna hook up the coolant hoses, and then I think I'm gonna do the oil pan after. So yeah, should be pretty fun. I got my my little brother with me, Ethan. And yeah, just gonna get started, knock away at this, and hopefully make some big progress. Hopefully try to get this car back together by Wednesday. Today's Sunday, so 3 or 4 days. So my little brother wants to go back home. So yeah, hopefully we get this all done. And yeah, I'll check back in.
Wonder.
So after a couple of, I'd say at least an hour, I got most of the oil pan bolts off now. So now I'm just gonna try and remove the oil pan. I think it should come off pretty easy right about now. Alarming though, most of these bolts were loose, so maybe that's why there's just so much grime and it leaks so much. Maybe it just wasn't, what's the correct word? Just wasn't tightened well enough. Maybe the seal was good, it just wasn't tightened well enough. Obviously the seal wasn't good, but well, taking care of it now. It just sucks because a lot of this stuff is just so dirty down here. It's just annoying. Just having to work around and then clean your hands and then get in there again and clean your hands. It's just constant. So now I'm just gonna take the oil pan off. After I do this, probably start cleaning the surfaces, clean the oil pan, and then clean the surfaces, clean the oil pan, and then really just put the coolant hoses back on. I think that's the plan of attack for today, at least. Yeah, it's just a lot of thinking, you know. I should have probably planned ahead a lot more. I should have actually, like, I mean, I wrote everything down that I wanted to do, but the plan of attack, I never really had a plan. I just knew what I wanted to tackle. So now I'm just kind of going through it, constantly thinking about what to do next. But we're making progress. Got the thermostat housing off also. So I'm just gonna press on these tabs right here. As you can see, it's coming off a wee bit. Maybe if I get like a blade and cut through, it should just come off altogether. Yeah, it seems like this just was not done with the most care. It seems like there was an oil leak and then they just decided to instead of resealing the pan, just kind of put seal on the outside of it. So I do have a blade, probably just gonna go through that and cut that. Trying to take the oil pan off. This video is all over the place, so kind of just been working and then putting the camera down and grinding away. So I was trying to take the oil pan off, and I noticed when I was unloosening some of the bolts that there was some sort of like adhesive under here. This big old chunk was just like glued, and I don't know, I kind of just like I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll get back to it. So when I got back under here, I noticed it again, and I was like, that shouldn't be like that. So it was round, it was soft. It wasn't soft, it's hard, but it was really round. So that's weird. You can see it? So yeah, so I just started chipping away, and yeah, obviously somebody tried to cut some ends. Obviously the oil pan leaks. That's why I'm resealing it. And yeah, so I got most of that off, and I found a bolt under there. And I don't know if I saw the bolt before. I'm pretty sure I did, but now I'm just gonna kind of loosen it, and hopefully this thing finally falls out. I was struggling with it earlier, so yeah. But very scary stuff, you know. Just you just find, you know, this is why you kind of always, this is just comes with the territory of buying like cars from people. You know, they typically don't want to do the work, and they cut corners like this. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with the oil pan. Obviously it didn't seal for some reason. It kept leaking, and they just got tired of it and just decided to do whatever the hell this is. I have no clue what this is. I really don't. It's like, I mean, it's rock. It's like rock solid, but it comes off and you chip away at it. So yeah, I guess to just tune back in. I guess it's not gonna come out like this. Oh, it might.
Is that both the one?
Those. YouTube. See me? No, we can't. I don't hear anything.
Barely.
So, currently undoing the transmission mounts here. I'll show you the AC to come into. As you can see, currently removing the mounts finally. And yeah, so got 2 bolts right there. Ethan, you're crushing me.
I'm sorry, bro.
Got 2 bolts right there. Gonna take these bad boys out. And then hopefully, without taking off the whole mount, hopefully this is more than enough just to jack up the transmission and engine together. And then yeah, get this oil pan off. So definitely check back in a little bit. So oil pan's out, as you can see. Let me show you guys some of the carnage under here. Pretty wild stuff. Let's see. Pretty wild stuff. This is the oil pan. It is just completely RTV'd to the death. You got RTV in the oil pan. Very curious to see what the pickup looks like. You can see they went overboard with the RTV. And yeah, very cool to see that's the dipstick sticking out to the bottom. That came off a little bit. This tube right here, I don't know what it is exactly. But yeah, finally got it off. It was quite the fight. Hopefully it is not that bad putting it back on, but we're gonna get started on this. That way we can seal this thing up pretty quick. And yeah. Yeah. Thumbs ups. Oil pan's off. And officially starting the refitting. So I am struggling a bit to get this pickup tube off. I think I'll just leave it for now. I don't want to focus on it for too long and then possibly bend it or something. There's already a bend in it. Don't know how that happened. So now the satisfying part starts and just starting to take off this gasket little by little. So I do need some brake cleaner. My brother is on the way with that. Shout out to him. So I think me and Ethan are just gonna go ahead and take most of this gasket off and get the surface ready for some new gasket sealer. And yeah. So yeah, just I guess we'll just set this up for a time lapse right now, and we'll keep it going. Cool. So under the car, where's me light? Okay, look at what we got going on. Ooh, pretty. This might be one of the coolest days of my life right here. As you can see, all pads off. Just been down here prepping the surface, cleaning it up, and cleaning other things. Under this car is just so gross. It's so gross. I don't know how many times I've said that, but it is disgusting under here. Look at that turbo return line straight into the oil pan. How sick is that, YouTube? And the cool coolant lines. And yeah, so just been down here prepping it, getting it ready, and just having a blast. Got Ethan here, hanging out with me, keeping me company. And yeah, so I might get this oil pan on today, might not. Not really sure yet, but just wanted to check in again. And yeah, hopefully this video isn't too boring. It's a lot of checking in and whatnot. I didn't say anything.
Not at all.
Okay, here you go. Completely clean the surface. Let me just get a new rag for you. Watch this. See that? Okay, right there's my hand, but you get the point. It's not dirty. Alright. Keep going. Follow me. YouTube. What it do? Alright, so upon inspection today, we've been trying to get the oil pan in. Need another person. My brother's busy. So, upon inspection, let me just show you guys this. As you can see, the underside of the oil pan right here is still wet. So that leads me to suspect there's an oil leak somewhere else also. I initially already knew I was going to take the crankshaft and do a new main seal. So I said, oop, let me grab the camera. So, just got the pulley off. 27 with the impact. You definitely need an impact to do this. If you don't use an impact to do this, the manual says you can have somebody sit in the car, step on the brake, and put the car in fourth gear and step on the brake, and it'll hold the crankshaft. But I would definitely recommend getting a impact driver to do this. So upon further inspection, as you can see, pulley's off officially, and yeah, lots of oil around this thing, especially at the bottom. Inside the oil seal also, there's oil coming out. So now just gonna focus on trying to get this clip off. Circlip or C-clip, whatever. Gonna try to get this off and then pop that thing out. YouTube! Got it out! That was easy, a lot easier than I thought. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, turn off the music. Damn, for real? You see it, YouTube. Got it out officially. You gotta zoom in on this, Ethan. Let the people know. How's that look? Looks like a car, alright? If this is the oil pump ring right here, so cool stuff happening right here. Cool. So now we're just gonna pop off this O-ring. I do have two of the pieces. Here's a new O-ring. Here's the part number. I believe I got this off of partsgeek.com. If you're local to California, they usually ship their stuff out of California. Odd reason. Shipped from Irvine, came to San Bernardino, went to Utah, came back to San Bernardino. So it took like 3 days. And here is the main seal we're going with. This one looks a little bit different, but genuinely the same thing for the most part. Hopefully. Okay. So, now we're just going to get the old one off. Based on my research, this thing gets old over time, gets really hard, and that's basically why it doesn't seal as good anymore. So, I already tried to take it off. I was a little too eager. I tried to take it off, and it was very hard. So, here's a little indent I made. Yeah, I made a broken half. Let's see. Well, there you go. Breaks. So Nice. Glad to get that off and get a new one on there. Oh, look at that, broken. Alright, easy peasy. And there she goes. So now I'm just gonna clean this thing up and prep it for the new seals. Easy peasy. Cool. So just got done cleaning it for the most part. Looks a lot cleaner. I mean, it is an old part. So now I'm just gonna pop on the new seals. To clean, I use a little bit of brake clean. Ran out, so I use some gasoline in a cup. I hear that's also a very good cleaner. Obviously, I'm probably killing myself by inhaling the fumes like this. But same thing with brake cleaner, it's also pretty bad. Fumes are also pretty bad. So now I'm just gonna put on the new seals. To put the new seal in, I'm just gonna use the old seal. I'm gonna put this down. Something flat, nice flat surface, nice little cloth under it. Now I'm gonna put the new seal in and use the old seal to hammer it in evenly. Got it in. Got the oil ring gasket in. And so you basically kind of, unsag then. Let's see. So as you can see, there's like a line on the inside right here. You basically want to hammer it in to the point where it's fully seating. So we got it for the most part. Maybe you could see that all the way around. So yeah, it was a little needed a little persuasion. Say use a little bit of oil around it to make it go in a lot smoother. Obviously I did not see that part, but it's in now. It's in now. So now we're just gonna put it back in the car, easy peasy, hopefully, you know. All right, so now I'm just prepping the surface for the new one. Not really gonna, maybe I should just kind of clean this all up right here. And yeah, the install is basically the opposite of the I can't think of the word right now, but taking it out. So also you definitely want to make sure there's a little arrow right here on this side. There's also going to be an arrow on the seal right here. So make sure you match up those arrows together when you're putting it back on. That's an arrow right there, right? New day in the garage. So as you can see, got everything back together. I let this sit out for a day just to see if it would seal correctly, because as you can see, the O-ring sticks out a wee bit, so I wasn't too sure if that was correct. After everything, struggled with it a bit. I guess it just sits like that, but as you can see, there's no oil leaking from the bottom of it, nothing wet at least. But much to my surprise, it seems that we do still have some wet spots here, so not too sure where this is coming from. That is one big drip waiting to come down. And I guess I'll just do some more investigating. Could be coming, it seems like the trail starts right here and then just comes to the side, so it could just be from the engine itself. But yeah, so now I'm just gonna basically get this back on, get the pulley back on, and then prep the surface to for the oil pan and hopefully get it back on today. And then that will be done. and then I can put the exhaust system back together. And yeah, and just keep going from there. So stick around, I guess, YouTube. So here's the rig we came up with. Basically get enough leverage to basically slide the oil pan in. Had to struggle a little bit with that subframe bolt. Eventually got it out finally right there. Right here. Able to release the subframe a bit more, slide this in. So now we have plenty of room just to slide the oil pan in. And that was one of my biggest concerns dealing with the trying to get the oil pan back in, because I didn't want to get any of the sealant anywhere or mess it up. So I've been struggling with that, trying to get that situated. Finally did. So now I just finished prepping the bottom surface again. A lot of prepping. Honestly, it is not as clean as I would like, but it is definitely decent. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and get the oil pan situated. Where's the oil pan at, Ethan? Oh. And yeah, bring it. And yeah, so get that sealant on and hopefully slap that bad boy back in. This is the sealant I'm using, Ultra Black. Says it is good for oil pans. As you can see, I don't think this has a part number. Oh, part number down there. So yeah, this is what I'm going with.
Bad bitch don't sleep. Never wanna fall on the sheets. Hands on the wall, on the lease. Switch my whole by the week. Bring my flame to the street. Fuck her in the throat, put my name out the street. Running to the bank, track me. Bricks in the truck, won't run a beat. Don't give a fuck up for bitches and none. She sucking me numb till I go to sleep. Woke up and told myself I am the done. Then bought me a done and shit wasn't cheap. Nah, ain't giving no ones. I got a little stick in the arm of the ring. The wide body Jeep, you already know why they roll by the keys. I did it inside of Mercedes, I'm crazy. Trapping one spot, we'll switch the location. Put it up and it came with some gravy. Bigger the foot, better come with the payment. Just an outside no. Top four sitting like a boss. They go to call. Them niggas fall. Behind the bed up with a cross. I figured that there was probably a way for this to kind of indicate that it was at top dead center. If you look inside right here, it has this little groove in here. And this actually has a little part that slides onto. So if you don't slide it in, it'll just sit on top about this far off. And as you can see, it's not going down anymore. It won't go anymore. Lighting is pretty trash right now. I wish it was a bit better. So yeah, as you can see, lighting's a bit better. If you don't go ahead and line it up with this, you won't be able to put this all the way in. So take that off, rotate it a bit. Oh, fuck. Very satisfying. It's in there. So now, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on. And the Saab manual indicates that the best way to stop the crankshaft from moving so you can torque this down the spec is I gotta say, stop saying have somebody in the car pressing on the brake while the car is in 4th gear. So cool, that's on there. All right, and yeah, so now I'm just gonna torque this down the spec. Alright, ready? Step on it. And 29 foot-pounds is crazy. Alright, let go. Get step on it. Cool. Alright, that's good.
You heard that click, right? Heard that click? That means it's torqued down the spec. So, obviously a little bit of movement. Hopefully everything's a-okay. Hopefully that doesn't do anything, too much damage, but yeah. Now it's in.
From the beginning, we had the talent to win it. Protecting the business, I'm buying my newest engines. You cannot walk in my J's, you kidding? You will be finished. You niggas bitches. Hustle mentality, mama mentality, script every dollar and penny. You know what I'm saying? Nigga forgot about this shit, man. Waterfall on the sheet, hands on the wall, Mona Lisa. Switch my whole by the week. Bring my flame to the street. Fuck her in the throat, to my name out the street. Running to the bank, track me. Bricks in the truck, won't run a beat deep.